Hi, my name is Rafa Solis. Today is the next episode of SPIN, Swiss Private Investor News, in Trust Square location on Bahnhofstrasse 3. So today we have a special guest that they will introduce themselves.
Thank you for having me in the show. I'm Alexandra Potrykus. I'm the co-founder of WeWent.com. It's an online marketplace for booking, discovering team events for corporates. Apart from my startup experience, I bring 11 years of experience in HR in the corporation, and I'm delighted to be here.
Urs Bolt. I'm independent advisor for FinTech, RegTechs and WealthTechs. I bring more than 30 years experience and a big network in international business, mainly within banks and technology companies. And I'm happy to talk about the future of work and artificial intelligence today.
Hi, I'm Rexy. I take care of the business development at CoV Network. It's also based in Zurich, in this place, Trust Square. And what we're building is a platform for open collaboration between knowledge workers.
Nice to having you. So, first topic is the blockchain. So we will start for our guests. Can you tell about your solution on the blockchain platform?
With our platform, so blockchain is just a technology that we use to distribute the work between the knowledge workers. So the process is as simple as knowledge workers such as AI experts, machine learning engineers, quant finance, they can all work together in a project that is created by firms such as UBS or Credit Suisse. And then they work together, they review each other by themselves in order to determine the percentage of contribution. And then they get rewarded by this mechanism that is built by the smart contracts, which is part of the blockchain technology.
Yours, what is your background in this topic? Can you tell something more about you?
Regarding to blockchain?
Yes.
Yes, of course. One of my main mandates, and besides some other advisory mandates, is with Pixio. Pixio is providing a personal data management solution, and one main focus now is to provide this solution in app-style way, a data wallet for banks, for instance, like BNP Paribas. So the clients of the bank will use the app, add their personal data in it, also known as Know Your Client data. This allows for onboarding and providing new services by the bank. So they allow the bank to use the data, so basically permission them in a private blockchain. Private means almost like an extranet in a controlled way. And this way, re-onboarding for other services, besides usually you start with a bank account, then you want the card, then maybe you want the mortgage, want the leasing contract, insurance. Re-onboarding for new services will be much easier for the clients, and blockchain allows to do this with smart contracts, which is basically the permission approach, and also to reuse the data for other providers.
So you think that the blockchain can change the job market or improve much more the business that it's right now?
I think it will in the developed environments, in developed world. Advanced economies will mainly focus on productivity and efficiency increase, but also allow new business models and operating models to work. So at the least, it should help to improve efficiency and effectiveness of operating models, maybe we say business models, but ideally it will also allow new ways of doing business, new business models, which is probably what happens when you also look at other technologies like artificial intelligence, robotics, etc.
And your solution, how it really works on this blockchain platform, can you describe it more?
Smart contracts will allow the platform it'll enable the workers to get incentivized, and then they also get contributed. They get incentivized based on the contribution percentages that the smart contracts enable.
Last time was very popular topic about artificial intelligence and job places. What do you think about artificial intelligence, that it will bring more job places or it will delay some works for the people?
So you're talking to a progressive optimist, and I'm definitely a fan of technology enabling actually increased job growth. But there is no secret around, the research shows today we will, by 2030, 20 to 30% of the jobs that today exist, they will be eliminated by AI. And on the other hand, some new jobs that we are not aware of yet will be created. So again, I believe it's all progress, it's all around, yes, the development, and of course some more administrational jobs like junior lawyer type of jobs or telemarketers may not exist in 20 years. But we will need jobs that require more creativity, more social intelligence in the future.
I mean, one very good example is, look, the banking environment where I come from. I mean, I'm not that long an independent advisor, but you see the job cuts and it's all about cost cutting. But then you offshore it or outsource it to other countries with lower factor costs or labor costs. But at the end of the day, they will catch up as well with the labor. So what you will need is automation by machines. So it's software-based, it's artificial intelligence, machine learning, what we hear every day about, but it will free up the resources which are actually now not even available for providing a good client service. As I recently just wrote an article about, which was published mid-March, the humanoid banker, science fiction or the future. I mean, I believe we have to give up the fear that technology will take our jobs away. We actually should be happy that we have finally time again to serve the clients in a social context and use technology to create, let's say, an investment proposal within seconds, if not nanoseconds, as it is already shown by startups which I'm very familiar with and support them on their international journey, which come out of Switzerland, but I know there are many others doing this. So you have Alexa taking here in this room, let's assume we would be in a client meeting, he would take a command from me, pops up with the investment proposal, some shares or funds, whatever, and does that in seconds, where today you would have the client here, someone will write down, the client will write down what he wants, and then it takes him possibly days until he gets a proposal, because he has no time because of all the administrative burden around. That's a very concrete example why banks are implementing these new technologies.
And an example familiar to my previous job is, you've mentioned shared services. Absolutely, we keep on moving our jobs to more cost-effective locations. This will not be possible because there's an end to where the cheap locations are. However, we need to get used to having chat resources. So there will be possibly an HR resource, so human resource, and there will be a chat resource, a chatbot that will, for example, take care of an onboarding of an employee, answering many questions from a new employee in a very quick manner, accessible anywhere, anytime. And I think that's again the future of our work, so progress again.
And in terms of future of work, I think the shift right now is going through the automation. We're going to live in a world full of automation. And the fear right now among people is that we fear what jobs are left for us. But then again, we think in a different perspective in terms of the loss of jobs in the past, but now we also have a lot of more job creation. Like you mentioned, there was Alexa, the virtual assistant. Right now we also have developers building on top of virtual assistants, right? So we have what we call Alexa developers. And then in terms of AI, we have AI engineers, machine learning engineers. So obviously we have a job loss, but that's at the expense of more job creation.
But do you all think that these AI solutions should prepare people for this change, for the shift from one job to another? Because when I'm doing interviews with startups, I do not hear it. Just everybody's saying we will do more efficient technology, so companies can fire 50% of the crew. But I don't hear that.
It's not going to work in a gradual way. It will just shift away because young people, they also develop with consumer tech. I mean, look at the gaming industry. They're always one of the most advanced using new tech and new software and possibilities. So they grow up with this, how to deal with it, and it just develops. So value creation just moves to the next level. And what you mentioned before was very interesting too, because you said low-cost domiciles or countries, they will sooner or later disappear. So the more value we create in the world economy, the more poverty will be eradicated. And this way, you can actually use technology again to produce in a much higher productive environment what you actually used to have done by humans. So we need technology to progress.
And one of the topics I'm very passionate about is there will be a requirement of all of us as human beings to learn, continually learn, because we don't know what's going to be the job of let's say 2030, right? Mm-hmm. And in order to prepare for that, we need to continually learn, upskill, find new ways of learning, find new topics of learning, and that's very accessible through technology as well. I mean, today, social media allows you to learn almost 24/7, right? I often feel overwhelmed with how much I could learn in a day and how much I've missed on what's available. So there is a responsibility on us as human beings to learn more. And also there is a responsibility on the educational system, on the governments to help us learn as well in a different way than we learn today.
That the startup will create job places in the future more and create a value for society?
Absolutely. I think we've touched a bit earlier on the whole freelancing topic, on the whole open market, the gig economy. So absolutely, I think startups are enabling access to workers as never before. So I truly believe in that. With our marketplace, we allow very unique providers of team events that would never be able to access a big corporation, for example in Zurich, to actually bridge through us to them and offer a very interesting and unique solution that a corporation would not be able to do today.
What is your opinion, Urs, about this?
Of course, I mean, the creative intelligence, as I call it, they don't go to the big corporates anymore. There's almost like it's a very, at least, let's say polite and ambivalent relationship. And also then, I mean, what you touch with knowledge workers, often with a lot of experience, they actually become all freelancers because they have skill sets which are in its combination complex, but they are needed, but they might not be needed 100% throughout the whole day, but they might be needed by different beneficiaries, and that way you need new technologies to bring these skills, demand and supply together with reward system, incentivization, etc. So we will see a total new work environment, which we can already feel now, but it will then be totally digitalized. So that will create the new work environment for all people who, I mean, everyone can provide value in one way or the other. And that will allow to make it happen.
So when we are talking about the value, which startups has the biggest value? Blockchain startups, traditional startups, or technology startups which are improving the solutions? What do you think that the blockchain startups can bring in the future bigger value? Because our show is about investing, and Swiss people want to invest their money in some startups, companies, shares, maybe ICO, maybe IPO, depends from the real estates, depends from preference. But what do you think about the value of blockchain startups?
I mean, right now we're in a very lucky era because it's not just venture capitalists, not just the accredited investors that are able to invest in startups such as blockchain startups, let alone technology startups. Right now we all have the ability to invest in small startups either through ICOs or either through crowdfunding even, such as Kickstarter. You can just release whatever idea you have on a platform and then that's it. People can start backing up your idea. And in terms of blockchain startups, I think it's not something we can see relatively close to now, but I feel just like in the internet era, once we see adoption to the consumer side, it just goes probably exponential. I mean, right now we just can't see it because it's all buzzwords, just hype, so yeah. Until we get an understanding of what the technology's benefits is and the use cases, and not just the technology itself, not just the talk or the discussion about technology, but the actual use case, that's when we see the value.
Yeah, I would agree with this. So the whole volume of token issues in this cryptocurrency pool has now to be translated into real world value. That means use cases or application in a scaled way, used by millions of people. And then it will be translated into the capital markets, which by themselves will most probably be completely transformed into token securities. But we have to see this shift of value over into the real economy. And I think we are just at the very beginning of this whole transformation.
There needs to be a diversity of investment in different technologies, and I wouldn't say yes, blockchain is the only thing to go for. From my side, why we decided to go to marketplace, I see marketplaces are so used by individual customer. I can order my painter for the house, a cleaner for the house, I can get my deliveries home. All of that is so accessible. I question why not bring it to the companies? Why not make an access of different services so available to the buyers, and even release the HR, the team assistants, and give the power to the team leaders themselves to choose. It saves time, it saves money, so yeah.
So for today, I'm very grateful for having you here. And if our viewers, clients, investors, audience have more questions, we will put more information in the description of the video, so you can contact directly our guests. And we'll invite you right now to see short video from our guests, so they can explain the video what they are doing. And we are seeing in the next episode of Spin, probably in July. So thank you very much for your attention, and thank you very much for being here.
Thank you
very much.
Rafa.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.